We have one chance. One. If we squander this opportunity while President Trump is in office, while we have a majority in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, we don't just get another chance. If we fail to actually fulfill the promise of mass deportations, to reorient our country, you can even call it restoring our country. Our lives are going to be changed forever. Do people not understand this in Congress, in Washington, D.C., even in the White House? That change to our lives that I reference is not going to be a good change, a fun change, a pleasant change, a prosperous change. That change will be grisly. Think about the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, we have suffered in our country 4 Islamist jihadi terror attacks. These terror attacks were committed by they were all committed, by the way, all of them, all 4 of them, by either naturalized citizens or the children of naturalized citizens. On March 1st in Austin, Texas, shooter, Muslim from Senegal, wore a t-shirt that said property of Allah. He wasn't born here. He never assimilated here. The only reason that he was a citizen of the United States is because the Biden administration allowed anybody in, no matter what their ideology was, no matter if they wanted to be American, no matter if they liked America or hated us. March 7th, less than a week later, in New York City, Amir Balat threw 2 improvised explosive devices, a Muslim. His parents were from Turkey. Yes, he was an American citizen, but his parents were naturalized citizens. They weren't from here. They didn't like America. This terrorist teenager shouted Allahu Akbar after his arrest. He pledged allegiance to ISIS. He said Islam is a religion of action. On March 12th, days later, Mohammed Jalla, a Muslim from Sierra Leone, not born here, who is actually unbelievable to me that he was already convicted for supporting ISIS in 2016 and then released by Biden only to commit murder at Old Dominion before other college students jumped upon him and neutralized him. March 12th, that very same day, in Michigan, at a synagogue, a shooter, Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, a Muslim from Lebanon whose brother was a commander in Hezbollah, tried to mass murder children at a preschool there. Now, what do all of these criminals, terrorists have in common? Well, they're all Islamists, they're jihadists, and they've all been imported via mass migration, not necessarily illegal immigration, but by, I call it open borders mass migration. Anybody welcome to come here to be a citizen, whether you actually want to be an American or not.
Welcome to the JJ Carrell Show, and that woman, Liz Wheeler, is spot on. She's absolutely correct. We have time, but we have a little time. I'm talking, in the scheme of things, maybe months. Maybe months. I want to talk to you. This show, I was putting together the show and I thought, you know what? Let's just talk about 1 or 2 or 3 items, okay? Because these are the pressing issues in America. And I want to spend time on 3 or 4 items. And the first one is the mass migration into the United States of America they call it the browning or the blacking. I call it the bringing in the third world. Bringing in people that have subhuman IQ. They have no true skills. They are illiterate in their own language. They have a different God they pray to, if they pray to one at all. They look at women completely different. And I'm going to talk to you about this as a retired United States Border Patrol agent that ran task forces, big and small, was a frontline agent, rose up through the ranks in the senior leadership, wrote 2 best-selling books and did 2 documentaries, and sat in front of a disgusting panel of congressmen and swore under oath to tell the truth. And I am telling you, without any hesitation, what Miss Wheeler just stated is 100% factually true. We are running out of time. We have imported not only our replacement, we have imported people to rape our women, people to kill our children, and people to take our jobs and subjugate us into a third world shithole. How can anybody with two brain cells rattling around in their stupid empty head look at what's happening and think, yeah, this is pretty good? This is, you know what I love? I love as many retarded people as you can get into my community as possible. Hell, know what makes it better is when those 1 and 2 retarded men and women get together and they have 8 children, 8 retarded children. That just makes me so happy. Do you think this was done like by accident? I'm telling you, my last year was Joe Biden's first year in office. I witnessed the treason and I left. I retired because I could. I wanted to stay a couple more years, but I retired because I couldn't take it. It was treason. They did everything you can possibly do. They took every law in the Immigration Nationality Act called the INA and abused it. They took every policy, every little cutout, and bastardized it in order to bring in 12 million people that were arrested by the United States Border Patrol. 12 million in 4 years. They flew in. I know you're not going to believe this. On charter planes and commercial flights, our government reached into the planet Earth, all the nations across the globe, and pulled them into America and paid for their flights on charter flights and released them. Millions. How do I know this? Because CIS.org did a FOIA request. And in that FOIA request, the government admitted to it. Then the government admitted between 2 and 3 million getaways. Now, let me explain something to you what a getaway is. In the United States Border Patrol, I may have 1 mile. I may have 400 yards of the border. I may have 100 yards of the border that I have to secure. I may have 20 miles. But at the end of my shift, I could tell you exactly what happened in my 20 miles or my 100 yards. I can tell you how many people crossed, how many were arrested, how many got away, at what time it happened. But because 80%, 1,600 miles of the almost 2,000 miles on the southern border at any given moment of the day within 24 hours had not one Border Patrol agent on the border. Not one. They closed the checkpoints down. Those are our safety nets, closed them down, and then they released everybody into America. And everyone that was afraid to be arrested by the Border Patrol and released, who would that be? Guess. Come on. Guess who doesn't want to be arrested by the Border Patrol, given food, given free cell phones, given plane tickets, and given cash ID cards? Who wouldn't want that? Well, people that know that they're known terrorists, people that they are known as an aggravated felon, and they will not be released, even though our government still released those people. So you didn't have 2 or 3 million people cross the border undetected, abscond. You had over 15 million. Go talk to whoever you want to talk to. Go ahead and read some article from New York Times or Washington Post or some jackass professor that's like the border czar, whatever. You want to believe them? You want to believe the federal government's telling you that they allowed in or flew in or let abscond 17 to 18 million in 4 years? That's 4.5 million a year. I'm telling you, there's 30 million minimum. You can believe me, or you can believe the government. Who do you think you're going to believe? Who do you think's telling you the truth right now? Huh? Donald Trump's already come out and said, yeah, it's about 25 million in the last 4 years under Joe Biden. He's almost there. You're getting there, President Trump. There's 50 million, minimum 50 million illegal aliens in America right now. There's another 55 million legal immigrants that came through fraudulently on tourist visas. Look, everybody that gets a tourist visa or gets some kind of non-immigrant come in and do whatever, a work visa for 30 days or 90 days, they all stay. Why? Because there's nobody to get them. You take the Border Patrol, ICE, DHS, USCIS, you take all of the alphabets inside the DHS, you're looking at maybe like officers and agents and people doing the job, 25,000, like maybe. There's 55 million people in our country on visas. Who's monitoring that? Who's monitoring that? Come on, answer me. You don't know. You don't know because there's no one monitoring it. You have no idea what our federal government, with the help of the Republicans, because I want you to understand the last 2 years of Joe Biden's term, who had control of the purse? Who had control of the House? That would be Mike Johnson and the Republicans. What did Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, and the Republicans do the last 2 years? They fully funded Joe Biden. In fact, they actually gave him more money than he asked for. Our government is a cesspool of traitors. They have destroyed our country. You have Liz Wheeler, and I'm going to tell you something. Let's just really get down in brass tacks. Do you know why Liz Wheeler is more frightened than, say, someone like me? Because someone like me, physically, I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to do whatever I have to do. Liz Wheeler is a beautiful, small, petite, married mom with blonde hair and white skin. And she knows little tiny women with white skin and blonde hair and their children are getting massacred in our own country. And she's scared, and you can hear it in her voice. And you know what, Miss Wheeler? You should be petrified. I say this all the time. I have been law enforcement for probably now, almost over half of my life. Been around it my whole life. My father was a Secret Service agent. I am telling you, if you knew what I knew, if you knew or know what local police officers know, you would never leave your house. You would never leave your house. You would be in COVID mode 24/7. There's no one coming to help you. You may be the very, very, very fortunate ones that the police just happened to be there. There's no one coming for you. And when these 50 million illegals and their 55 million brothers and sisters that are over here on, quote, legal status, and they're pumping out children at the rate of anywhere from 5 to 10 times that of our women, it's over. Right now, there is a demographic ticking time bomb in America, and the Democrats don't have to do a damn thing about it. They just have to allow it to explode. And it is exploding now because we have something that is absolute, utter ridiculous called birthright citizenship. So every time one of these retarded savages have a little retarded savage, it is now a USC, a U.S. citizen. And they're going to go to school with your kids, and they're going to be special needs. And they're not going to be enough special need teachers, so they're going to, quote, mainline them into your classroom. So your child who has a reading skill at 3rd grade and then she reads like she's in high school, well, she has to sit next to the retarded Somali or the retarded Nigerian or the Mexican that hasn't eaten in 4 days, wearing the same clothes, carrying their book bag or books in a plastic bag. Oh, you think I'm making that up? Go ask parents. Go ask them who's in the classroom with their kids. Go ahead. God, we're doing this to ourselves. We're doing it to ourselves because we hate ourselves. We are a self-hating nation. There's a segment of our population that loves America. And I'm going to tell you, and you're not going to want to, you don't want to hear this. I understand. If you don't rise up this percentage and take back our country, they are going to dominate us, subjugate us, and that fight to get America back to where she was, if that could ever be achieved, will every day that we do not fight and eradicate this invasion into our country, this radical agenda of sexual perversion and removing God from everything, every day that we do not do what we need to do to eradicate it, that means it's going to be more violent, more bloody, and more painful to correct it. Joe Biden, Harris, Mayorkas, Speaker Johnson, they're traitors. I got in front of Congress and they get to read your testimony before you go in there. It's like their cheat sheet. And a congressman from Santa Ana, California, hated me because I used to work in his area and arrest all of his constituents. Told me before the hearing started that he's still going to allow me to speak, even though he finds what I wrote to be unfitting for the halls of Congress. And what was that term or phrase or sentence that I used? Well, I called Joe Biden a traitor and Mayorkas a traitor. See, you can have homosexual anal sex and film it and post it. You can have massive sexual harassment, both men on girls, men on women, and men on men, or men on boys, staffers, and pay out $20 million to sexual harassment claims. You could have interns, when you're the president, manipulate a young girl to give you a blowjob. You can lie, cheat, and steal. You can wear IDF soldier uniform into our halls of Congress. But we can't say the word traitor. I despise my government. I love my country. I love my citizens. I hate with a passion my government. They are corrupt to the core, and everyone knows it. As I did my show, I'm looking at the items that I want, the issues and the concerns I have. They're all tied to each other. It's amazing. There's no one-offs. There's no anomalies. They're all sitting there tied to each other. What's tied to immigration? What's tied to immigration? Our culture's tied to immigration. Our culture is tied to immigration. Our society is tied to immigration. And then you take the de-evolution, the denigration of the black population in America. And we are in a world of hurt. And I know people don't like to talk about this, which makes me want to talk about it more. Which makes me want to just say out loud, our country was never like this. Black people did not fight and yank each other's wigs off, stomp white people, kill white people, rape white people, steal, speak in dialects that seem foreign even to anyone on planet Earth. This is an anomaly in our history. How did we get here? Look at us now. Look at us now. This is our country. Let me tell you, this is a picture about 40 years ago. This is when I would go to spring break. This is what spring break looked like 40 years ago. And this is what spring break is today. This is in Daytona Beach. It was 4 gunshots, people getting shot and killed on the beach because they have black people wearing pink wigs, shooting each other, fighting. What happened to the beaches packed with smoking hot babes in there and dudes looking to hook up, swimming in the ocean, having fun? Nobody was firing guns off when I was in spring break. Look at what we've become. Look at us now. Stop. Stop putting your eyes and diverting them away. Look at what has happened to our country. This is not how it always was. This is how it is now because we allowed it to happen. We allowed people to become unruly, uncivilized, uncultured, and we've encouraged it. What culture, if you just looked at this picture, which culture do you want to be a part of? If I offered you an opportunity, if you came in from Mars and I said, hey, I'm going to show you a video. It's 23 seconds long. Okay. And on the top is one culture and on the bottom is another culture. You have to choose. I'm going to show you this video for 23 seconds and then you choose. And I'm only going to give you 3 seconds to choose. And I have 100 aliens. I'm going to bet you my whole year's salary that every single alien is going to say, I like that one with all the, what are those people with the very pale skin? Yeah. The ones with the pink hair and they're asking me, the aliens are like, I don't understand. Why does that, what is that on their head and why does it go flying off? And then the women on top and the boys that are on top, why are they not killing each other? But the people on the bottom are killing each other. They're punching each other in the body, in the face. Can you explain that to me? Human? Well, yeah, I can. See, that's the white race. And we have our problems, trust me. And this is now the new black culture. And the black culture is to twerk, be obese, do not work, have illegitimate children to 80%, commit 55% of all homicides, rape white women by the tens of thousands, and they love to rob and destroy department stores, get on cruise ships, and fight so badly they have to ban blacks from cruise ships and ban black music. Oh, and the other thing they love to do is they love to fight. They just cannot get enough of fighting. They just can't. In fact, let me see if I can find you another video that just happened yesterday. And this would be the rodeo. I'll go ahead and just pull it up because hell, why not? This is the rodeo in Houston, Texas. Remember yesterday we listened to that short hair lesbian white woman talk about eradicating America of white people because Houston is so great, because Houston's so diverse. They speak 6 different Asian languages. Wow. That's amazing. Houston is a diverse city. Houston is a complete shithole. Let's look what's happened in Houston and let's play Find Waldo. Find the white person in this crowd. A question that needs to be asked: where are any black leaders? Where are they? This was a bunch of white kids, white young adults doing this. They would have their asses handed to them. Have you ever asked yourself, honestly, why we don't see any of these videos of white people doing this? Have you? And before you start with all that's racist and that I don't care, how about we just speak honestly? Can we get into this can we get into maybe just speaking bluntly and honestly? The reason why you don't see white people doing this, the reason why you don't see Hispanics doing this, the reason why you don't see Asians doing this is because we have culture. We have fathers. We're grounded in something different. Blacks used to be exactly like everyone else. Their education grades and standards were as high as or higher than whites. Their illegitimacy rates were at or below whites. Their marriage rates were at or similar to whites. Their achievement, their entrepreneurship, their businesses, their quality of life, their two-parent households. It was like America. The 90% of whites and the 10% of blacks all lived under the same rules, the same societal cultural expectations. That is gone. You want to complain about the CIA pump drugs into the inner city? Sure, but you still had to take the cocaine and stick it in your nose. You still had to create it into crack, put it in a glass pipe, light it, and smoke it up. You still had to take the black tar heroin, cook it, put it in a syringe, and then jam it into your veins. You had to continually smoke dope. You had to continually have multiple baby mamas. You would think after you've had one child out of wedlock, you think that you would be like, whoa, I made a mistake. I'm going to take care of this child. I'm going to be his father. You don't think, fuck it. I'm going to go impregnate another 9 women. Society, it'll be great for society. Don't worry. The honkies will pay for it. Have you asked yourself? The Asians don't have this problem. Do they have gangs? Absolutely. Do they have their own issues? Yes, they do. Hispanics, 50% illegitimacy rate. Whites are at 25, but Hispanics are at 50. Do they have their problems? Yes, they do. But I don't see any of their kids doing this. I don't see any of their young adults doing this. Whites, 25% illegitimacy, lack of God, drugs, pornography, on and on and on. Impotency, cowardness. We have our problems. Yeah, we do, but we ain't doing this shit. Cruise lines are not trying to keep us from cruising. Other races are not going and making the phone call to the cruise line and saying, yeah, I would like to spend $10,000 a person on this cruise. I have a question for you, though. Yes, Mr. Carrell, what is that question? Yeah, can you tell me how many blacks have made reservations on this cruise line? I don't think anybody's asking how many whites are making or how many Hispanics are on this cruise line? How many Asians? I will guarantee you People that bought cruises and they show up, because I've been on many cruises, and show up in the embarkation line, and you're looking around and you're like, holy shit. Wigs are flying, you know, people are twerking that 500-pound twerkers. And I know for a fact there are families, white, Hispanic, even black families are like, fuck this. I ain't going on that ship. No. But we do. We continue to have to change our lifestyle. Okay, let me ask you maybe a different question. Maybe just a different question. How many white people used to go to the Houston rodeo? How many Hispanic people, which is a lot of people in Houston, are Hispanic? How many did you see in that sea of thousands? None. Zero. So we have changed our lives. We don't go enjoy things as we used to because we've allowed the most violent, the most uneducated, the most civilly impaired people dominate our society, dominate our space. Let me show you what America looked like 24 years ago. This is a video in Nantucket in July 4th, 2002. Not 1902, not 1802, 2002. That was yesterday. Let's see if we can pick out Waldo. And this time, instead of Waldo being white, we're going to look for a black Waldo. Nope, I didn't see any. But I will tell you this, and I'll guarantee it, 20, 25 years ago, you're going to see white people, you're going to see Hispanics, you're going to see Asians at the Houston rodeo. Yes, you are. Because the whole world our whole nation has changed. It has changed. I'm going to pull up because I want to say this. 2002 was not 100 years ago. It was yesterday. Yesterday. Everything that we're living through, this demographic time bomb of absolute destruction, this civil unrest, this race division in our country is new. It's new. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to read you decade by decade by decade the percentage of white people in America. Are you ready? I'm going to start back in 1910. 90%. 1920, 91%. 1930, 89, 90%. 1940, 89.8%. 1950, 89.5%. 1960, 88.6%. 1970s, 87.5%. 1980s, 83.1%. Now, hold on. 1990, 1990, 80%. 2000, supermajority of our country, 75% were white. Even as early as 2010, we were still the super majority. We were at 72.4%. And in between 2010 and 2020, we dropped 11% of our total population. That's not normal. That's a race suicide, a race murder. You're telling me that in 2026 is better than 2002? You're going to tell me that? You're going to try to convince me this melting pot of shit that we've allowed into our country, where we've allowed in over 185 fucking nations to stake their flag in our country and eradicate the white population, to decrease the black population. And you are going to tell me that our world, our nation is better off? This subject ain't going away, people. We are, I think it was the last maybe 10 years, maybe not even that, 7 or 8 years, 38,000 plus white women have been raped by black men. Do you know how many black women were raped by white men in the same time frame? That'd be zero. Zero. The assaults, the murders of blacks on white are like 30-something times that of white on black. When you look at these statistics, these percentages of the white race and what has happened to our country, I'm so tired of hearing the melting pot, the melting pot. The melting pot was not melting until until 2010. 2010. Not 1910, you jackasses. 2010. We're watching the demographic destruction of our nation in a blink of an eye, and it's happened in the last 20 years. So less than 10% of our totality of being alive as a nation, less than 10%. If you're an American at all, specifically a white American, and you're not alarmed, I don't know what to tell you. The friends that I have that are black and Hispanic and Asian, like really close friends, guys that I went to war with in the Border Patrol, do you know what the vast majority of them tell me? They say this world, this country cannot be anything but a majority white country. Why do you think everyone in the world wants to come here? Because we're racist? Or because our white culture built a society that the rest of the world desires? And instead of apologizing, instead of trying to make us less white, instead of listening to racists tell us how bad we are and that they want to replace us and we remain silent, you know what we should do? We should stand very proud, shoulder to shoulder, and say, we demand a thank you, you ungrateful pigs. And if you don't like America and you don't like how white it is, then get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out. It was easy. You jammed 37 of you Mexicans and Guatemalans and Nigerians and everyone else into a Toyota Corolla. We'll take that same little clown car and take your ass back to your shitty third world country. No skin off my back. I clean my own toilets. I make my own food. I can build shit. I don't need you building third world crap. I don't need your third world children in my classroom with my son. I don't need you third world morons driving on my road with no license and no insurance and have no idea how to drive with a car with 37 different makes and models pushed together that I don't even know what the hell kind of car you're driving. I've had it. I don't want you here anymore. I have a say. I'm an American. My citizenship is more than yours. Yours is fraudulent. You came here under fraudulent means. You got some kind of quasi bullshit citizenship from a traitor named Joe Biden, from a traitor named Speaker Johnson. It's all coming to a head. I don't know how fast it's going to explode, but it's almost there. I can feel it. I'm not a dummy. I have a pulse, a thumb on the pulse of America. I know because I'm out there. I see it every single day. I lived it. I'm telling you, the people that are here. Why, how do I know them? Because I saw them every effing day of my life for 24 years. They don't know how to hold a pen. They don't even know what their birth date is. They can't write anything. They can't spell their name. They're functionally like a robot that's kind of having a couple fuses popping. There ain't nothing going on up there. Why do you think the countries they came from are shitholes? Why do you think their culture, the cultures, the society, and the cultures and the nations they come from don't have running water, don't have electricity? They wipe their hands after they crap with rocks or leaves, or they just shit right on Main Street. Whatever Main Street is a dirt road. They live in huts. The only time that they get anything that is functional is white people from Western Europe or America go there and build it or send money and engineers to build it. Start talking like you have a set, like you got a pair of balls. Start talking as if you know what the hell is going on and what is being done to you. God, why are we apologizing for the greatness of America? Why do we bend the knee to the propaganda that we're a melting pot? That no, we're not white. Well, yes, I'm looking at the fucking statistics in front of me. We've been 90% basically all the way up to 2010. And you're trying to tell me, we've always brought in all these immigrants, and we built the nation on the back of illiterate slaves. God almighty. Are you kidding me? I'm not saying slavery's good. Slavery's an abomination. But slavery's been around since the beginning of Adam and Eve. And I'm supposed to apologize for the world? And I'm supposed to act as if the illiterate, unskilled Africans that we shipped over here built my country? Are you fucking crazy? That I need third world people from Mexico, El Salvador, Nicaragua, all the stands? To what? To build me what? Every carpenter, every roofer, go to California and ask them. Ask the companies. They'll tell you, no, those houses, I'm surprised they're still standing. America's great because we had white Christian settlers come and built this country from nothing. We dominated the Native Americans and pushed them into reservations, and I'm part Indian. And we pushed them into reservations because we're dominant. And if you think I'm going to apologize, you are out of your fucking mind. just to drive this point home, let's listen to Mr. Tucker Carlson, the full-on anti-Semite, as they like to call him, and racist. But still, let's listen to what the racist and anti-Semite, Tucker Carlson.
What's happening in the United States is a wholesale change of who lives here. New York City in 1950 was 90% white. Chicago in 1950 was 86% white. Philadelphia, over 80%. Los Angeles, 94% white. Detroit, Michigan, 84% white. Baltimore, 76% white. That was 1950. Here are the numbers today. Baltimore, 27% white. Detroit, about 10% white. Los Angeles, about 37% white now. Philadelphia, 36%. Chicago, less than 30%. And New York City is now around 30% white. The Great Replacement is not only real, it's the realest thing there is.
It's the realest thing there is. Let's say in the last 18 months, been to LA, it is a third world hellscape. Been to New York City, never, ever, ever, ever want to go back there. Been to South Side of Chicago, thought, man, I think I'm in like the Middle East. I'm going to get killed. It looks like Gaza. It's destroyed. It's shuttered. Where else do they talk about? Oh, Philadelphia, the massive drug den that's in Philadelphia. Oh, that's interesting. Murders, rapes, everything going on. Every big city that used to be white and thriving is now a complete shithole, and there's no white people there anymore. Should we just stop and ask ourselves, is there a correlation? Maybe there is. See, the thing is men like me, I've already been my whole entire life been called a racist, you're a xenophobe. Of course, you hate Mexicans and you hate this and you hate blacks because you're from the South. I was born in Massachusetts, to be quite honest with you, and moved around quite a bit because my father was in the Secret Service. So I have no idea what you're talking about being from the South. But just because I'm a big, strong white man that is unafraid to say the truth, well, then I have to be a racist. No, I'm a factualist. Things are what they are. You don't have to like them. You can stick your head in the sand. You can be an ostrich. You can run around and put your fingers in your ears and put a blindfold on. I don't care. I don't care what happens to you, be quite honest. I'm just telling you the freaking truth. And I've had it. And I want you to know, like I said yesterday, I want you to really, really make this digest, swallow this whole. There are millions and millions of men like me that have hit their limit. Hit their limit. That ain't good. That ain't good. On the bottom of my screen is sat123.com. They are the sponsor of my show. You do not have to look through the lens I look through, but you have to look through a lens that says, we're off center. What in the hell is going on in America? Is it safe? What do you need to communicate with your loved ones? A sat phone. How do you communicate through internet? Well, that's your Starlink center. How do I get power? Well, those are your generators. What do I give to my son or daughter that goes to school that in case a freak, a sexual deviant that's LGBTQ comes in and tries to shoot up my school? Well, that is your backpack. That is a ballistic shield inside. Go to sat123.com, sat123.com/JJ. And my ask of you is go to the website and see and look and ask yourself, do I need this? Do I need it? The third thing that I want to talk about today, God, we're in war. Why are we in war? Because our politicians are captured and compromised by the nation of Israel. Oh, you don't think so? Let's listen to this.
If I were a Jew, I'd be a Zionist. I am a Zionist. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
I'm proud to say that no U.S. administration has done more in support of Israel's security than ours.
The United States stands with Israel now and forever.
We must stand with Israel.
Love Israel. I love Israel. I've been with Israel so long in terms of I've received some of my greatest honors from Israel.
When are we going to say, no, thank you? Israel, no, thank you. No, thank you. Please get out of my country. I think 30 years of giving our loved ones to death, to mutilation, to having third-degree burns all over their bodies, to having severe PTSD that completely destroys families. I think we gave enough of that to the Jews in Israel. I just do. If I ran for Congress, which I never will, AIPAC comes by me, I would say, hit the bricks, my friend. Don't ever come back. And I would tell my staffers, if I find out that you're working any way behind the scenes with AIPAC, you're fired instantly. And here's the thing. I can play videos after videos of this. All of the rabbis, they are pounding away because they need all of these people, these politicians that are compromised, they have dual citizenship with Israel, or they are just Zionist. The new generation, my son's generation, the 14 to about 30-year-old, they want nothing to do with Israel. They want zero to do with Israel. Israel and the Jews, the nation of Israel that was created in 1948, created. And the Jews are not God's chosen people. I have family members that are adamant, and I'm like, I don't even know what to say to you. What is wrong with you? You claim to be a Christian, but you don't understand the fulfillment of the scriptures, and that fulfillment is Jesus Christ. And you're telling me that I have to pay homage to a nation that despises my Savior, with a vast majority of them are atheists. They hate my Savior. They spit on the ground that we walk on, Christians in Israel. That's who I'm supposed to be, my best friend? When we go to war, we have to send our soldiers in there, not their boys? Not going to happen. Saw a video today, just didn't grab it enough. It's a white man. It's about a little younger than me. And he has two boys that are, I think he said they were 17 and 19. 19 and 21. And he just came straight out, and this is a powerful video. And he's talking about his sons and how they're beginning their lives as men, and they're chasing their aspirations, and they're fulfilling their God's mission. And he just basically came out. I'm almost quoting. He said, "If you think I'm sending my boys to a war overseas for another country, you can go fuck yourself." He goes, "I don't care what's going to happen. They ain't fucking going. Period. I don't care about your fucking draft. I don't care about anything. They're not going." And I say, amen, brother. My son, he ain't going to die for Jews in the Middle East. Not going to happen. He's not going to go fight for Mexicans in Mexico. Ain't going to happen. Not going to. If it's not dying for our country, he ain't going. Period. If it's some boondoggle war that you're going to just throw us into, he ain't going. He ain't going. He's not fucking going. I'm going to end this show with these two videos. Boy, it's all about sin. Here I am cursing the way I am. God almighty, man. Everything is tied together. We have politicians that rob us blind. They have stolen almost $40 trillion. We have seen the destruction, the rape, the killing of whites at unprecedented level. We've seen in the last 15 years our entire demographics flip on its head. We've seen the replacements of us be brought in. We've seen being killed, raped, and pillaged. We've seen all of our money disappear. We've seen our culture, our society, we've seen our way of life be completely altered in the last 15 years, completely destroyed. Why? Because we are a sinful nation, including myself, but we are in dire straits, been just engulfed in sin. And I saw this video of this man, John Piper, I believe his name is, talking about sin in a way that I haven't really thought of it. And it's powerful. Sometimes you just got to hear it so it sinks in.
A few years ago, I attempted to define sin, therefore, like this. And this is the root, not the branch. Sin is the glory of God not honored, the holiness of God not reverenced, the greatness of God not admired, the power of God not praised, the truth of God not sought, the wisdom of God not esteemed, the beauty of God not treasured, the goodness of God not savored, the faithfulness of God not trusted, the promises of God not believed, the commandments of God not obeyed, the justice of God not respected, the wrath of God not feared, the grace of God not cherished, the presence of God not prized, the person of God not loved. Why is it that people become so emotionally and morally indignant over poverty, exploitation, prejudice, abortion, infractions of our religious liberty, manifold injustices of man to man, and feel little or no remorse or indignation or outrage that God is disregarded, disbelieved, disobeyed, dishonored, and thus belittled by millions and millions and millions of his creatures? And the answer to that question is sin. And that is the ultimate outrage in the universe, that we don't treasure God above everything.
We don't treasure God above everything. What have we done here in America? We've imported people that are atheists, people that are Muslim, people that are Jews, Buddhist, Hindus, agnostics, voodoo witchcraft from Haiti, etc. We have defiled God's nation. Do you think this country was founded and grew to the bounds of success and excess and productivity and quality of life never, ever felt in human history? You think that happened out of happenstance? You think that it wasn't a blessing from God that our founding fathers created documents all rooted in our Christian faith, rooted in the 10 Commandments and honored God? You think that just happened? And now we look at our nation now, and in 15 years, 20 years max, we've seen the destruction of our nation. Do you think just for a second that it has any connection to us eliminating God from our country, disobeying him? We have time, finally have time to act. But the clock is ticking, and the sand in the hourglass is evaporating. We are going to lose our country. And in 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to wish that we had just a little more time.